Okay, today's our topic is applications of Ampere circuital law. Ampere's circuital law. This is our topic. With this topic we will start today. So two applications we will discuss. One for finding the magnetic field due to a solenoid and other due to a toroid. Okay. In my last class I told you that what is a solenoid and what is a toroid. So now today let us first discuss that how the magnetic field of a solenoid will be, how it is. Okay. What is the shape of the magnetic field? So suppose we pass a plane through the axis of the solenoid, and means it is in such a way that we have cut down the solenoid from the axis and the half part is above the board and half part is just into the board. Just imagine like this, that only half of the solenoid is just above the board like this. Okay, and remaining half part is behind the board. Okay, so now suppose these are the points. Suppose the current is flowing this way, like this. So current will be coming out from these points, crosses, okay, and will move into the board from these points. Means current is flowing like this, okay, like this, right? So this way current is flowing through the solenoid. Now what will happen? It is just like a wire is passing through a plane. So it will generate a magnetic field here. You can simply assume that the direction of current it is coming like this. It is coming from here, okay, and this point refers to the tip of the arrow. Okay, you have an arrow like this and there is a cross at the end. So if you have a dot, it represents the tip of the arrow, and tip of the arrow is the initial point of the front point of the arrow. So it means that the arrow is, you can see here the tip, so arrow is coming here, right? And you can see the cross is at the end of the arrow, so it means the arrow is inward. So here the direction of current is not this one, it is exactly the opposite one, like this. Okay, current is coming this way, coming out from here and going in here, out in, like this. So current is flowing through the solenoid in this way. So it means this end is clockwise, current is moving through this end, and if you will look at this end, current is moving like this. Okay, so from this end if you will look at the current, it is moving clockwise, and if I move with the same direction of flow of current, if I look from this side, then it will be anti-clockwise. So this direction is clockwise, this end is clockwise current, is the end with clockwise current, and this end is end with anti-clockwise current. Okay, now you remember that this was the direction. If you have anti-clockwise current on any side, then it should be the north pole, and if you have a clockwise current like this, then it should be south pole. So it means that we have the south pole here and the north pole of the solenoid here. Okay, now when we draw the magnetic field, the pattern of magnetic field for a solenoid, then what we obtain that here the magnetic field is the current is coming out like this. So the fingers are curling in this direction, so the magnetic field will be concentric circles in this direction, like this. Okay, like this here. Like this. and here the current, here the direction of magnetic field will be. Now you put your thumb into the board, so the direction of the fingers is clockwise. So here it will be like this. Okay, this will be the magnetic field. Okay, now what will happen? It will be like this, flowing in this direction, and here also you will get like this in this direction, and here it will be like this. Okay, here it is, this one, and then and similarly you will draw for the upper part like this. Actually they should not intersect each other here, but you can understand that I wanted to draw separate lines. Okay, since I don't have any scale or I'm not using any instrument, so they are intersecting each other here in this figure, but they should not, right? It should be like this. So this type of figure, if you draw the magnetic lines of forces for a current carrying solenoid, then you get a figure of this type. Now this is very similar to the figure we obtained due to suppose if I just replace this N as when we draw the magnetic lines of forces for a bar magnet, we get this one. Okay, this one, we get this type of field. Now this field very much resembles that same kind of field that is produced by a bar magnet. So it means that, what it finally means, it means that a current carrying solenoid behaves just like a bar magnet. Okay, this is the meaning, because when we draw the pattern of magnetic field, we get a magnetic field which is very similar to the magnetic field of that is created by the bar magnet. So that is why we come to this conclusion. Now here you can see one thing, that the magnetic field inside, in between the points, in between the coils here, this region, the magnetic field, magnetic lines of forces are very dense in this region, whereas the density is low outside. So it means that the solenoid will create a very strong magnetic field, can create a strong magnetic field inside it. Okay, whereas outside the coils, for the points outside the solenoid, this magnetic field will be very weak. Again, second thing is the direction of magnetic field due to the neighboring coils. The direction of magnetic field due to the neighboring coils here inside the solenoid are in the same direction, so they add up. The magnetic fields due to the neighboring coils add up and become strong. Whereas outside the solenoid, the direction of magnetic field due to the neighboring coils is opposite, and therefore they reduce each other, and hence the magnetic field, the strength of magnetic field outside the solenoid is weak. Okay, so it means that with the help of a solenoid, we can create a strong magnetic field in a particular region by enclosing that region inside the solenoid, whereas the outside region will have a very weak magnetic field. Okay, so this is the magnetic field of a solenoid. Now again I told you that how can you find out the where will be the north pole and where will be the south pole. So you can simply see that at the end where the current is flowing clockwise, that is south pole, and the end where the current is anti-clockwise is north pole. So current was moving like this. So if I look at this from this end, So current is moving clockwise. So this is south pole, this end. And when I move to the other side like this, and I look from here, the current is anti-clockwise. So if I will look at the current, if I will look from this side to this solenoid, I will find that the current here is anti-clockwise. So this is north pole and that end is south pole. Okay. We have another method which is called as Ampere's right hand rule. Okay. You grasp the solenoid with the right hand so that the fingers point along the direction of the current. Your direction of the current was like this. So you grasp, you imagine to grasp the solenoid with your right hand like this, with the fingers curling along the direction of the current. So current was coming like this, so it should be like this. Okay. So now the direction of thumb will represent the north pole, of the magnetic field of solenoid. You grasp this solenoid with the help of right hand. The direction of thumb will tell the end which is having the north pole. So this here, if you grasp it like this, so we get thumb direction here. So it means this end is the north pole. Okay. Okay. All right. This was about the nature of magnetic field due to the solenoid. Now we come to the expression for magnitude. How can you find out the magnitude of magnetic field due to a solenoid? Okay, so again I draw some figures. Okay, so suppose that these are dots, these are crosses. This end is your south pole, this end is north pole. Okay, and it is like this. Suppose this is the region where it can create the magnetic field, the inner region of the solenoid, right? Now what we do is we make a closed loop. We take a closed loop in such a way that some part of the loop is inside the solenoid and remaining part is outside the solenoid. And let us name this as A, B, C, D. Okay. Let us suppose that L is the length of this part of the loop. Okay. Let us suppose that L is the length of this part of the loop. Now what our Ampere's circuital law tells us is that B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu naught times the total current threading through it. Okay. So this is our Ampere's circuital law. Now suppose if we have n turns, then it will be mu naught Ni. Right? Okay. So we will find out first this part. The left hand side of Ampere's circuital law, it will be B vector dot dl vector from A to B plus B vector dot dl vector from B to C plus B vector dot dl vector from C to D plus B vector dot dl vector from D to A. This part plus this part plus this part plus this part. We have considered a loop, okay, and we are finding that what is B vector dot dl vector for this loop A, B, C, D. Now to get this total value, we can divide that loop into 4 parts, this and this. Okay. Now here, what is the direction of magnetic field? It is from north to south outside, and inside it will be south to north. Means the magnetic field lines are horizontal. Okay. Horizontal lines are there, magnetic field lines are horizontal. Now in this part B to C, your dl is a part of this length. Now dl has is this one, and the magnetic field is this one. Okay. So what is the angle between dl vector and B vector? It is 90. So you have B dl cos 90, and cos 90 is 0. So this term is 0. and similarly for DA part also this is 0. Okay, again in this CD part this is outside the solenoid, and we just few minutes back I told you that the magnetic field outside the solenoid is very weak. Theoretically we say that the solenoid creates no field outside the solenoid, means outside its region. It only creates the magnetic field inside. Outside the solenoid the magnetic field is 0. So it means that for this part this B is 0, and hence this value will also become 0. Okay, so how much will be this value? It will be B, and inside the solenoid what type of magnetic field it creates? It creates a uniform magnetic field, uniform type of magnetic field. So you can take this outside, or you can write B dl cos 0 A to B. Now B is a constant, cos 0 is 1, so you get dl, and the integral of dl is nothing but B into L. Okay, B into L. Now how much is your, according to your Ampere's circuital law, B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu naught times the total current threading through the coil. Now suppose if the coil have n turns, n is total number of turns, right? Suppose n, capital N is total number of turns, and let us suppose that n equal to number of turns per unit length. Then in this region, for this loop, how many turns will be there? The total number of turns, n will be equal to, inside the loop, suppose how many turns will be there? N equals to n into L. L is the length, capital N is the total number of turns inside the loop enclosed by the loop, and n is number of turns per unit length. So when you multiply number of turns per unit length with the length, you will get the total number of turns. So it means you can write this as mu naught n L I, right? Now make them equal, you get BL equals to mu naught n L I. L and L will cancel, and you get B equals to mu naught n I. Okay, just remember that here n is not the total number of turns in the solenoid, it is number of turns per unit length in the solenoid. Okay, number of turns per unit length. Okay, not the total number of turns. So this is the expression for magnetic field due to a solenoid, which we obtained with the help of Ampere's circuital law. Okay, all right. Now there is some notes, you can note down them, that B is equal to mu naught n I is the expression for magnetic field for those points which are well inside the solenoid. Means, suppose you have the solenoid, then you have this point and this point, they are at the end of the solenoid. This expression is there for the points which are well inside the solenoid, which are, I'm not saying that exactly at the midpoint, what I am saying is they are nicely enclosed by the solenoid. But the points which are at the end, there the magnetic field is half of this value, half mu naught n I. Because you can easily understand that if suppose you have a point, then this, you can divide the region into two parts. Now this half region is enclosed by the solenoid here, but this half region is not enclosed. So simply the magnetic field will be half. So the expression, now again repeating here, that magnetic field is this much for the points which are well inside the solenoid, but the points at the end, the magnetic field is half of this value. Okay. So it means that suppose if I draw the graph for B and if I draw the graph for B and L, okay. Suppose at this end I draw the graph B, and here I take the distance. Distance means that where the point is, right? So suppose these points represents the end Okay, these points, this point and this point, they represent the end of the solenoid. So in between region, the magnetic field will be uniform and will be equal to B. This value is mu naught N I, and then at the end it becomes half, like this. So this expression is half mu naught N I, half mu naught N I. So at the ends it becomes half of the value which is the value of magnetic field for the points well inside the solenoid. So we get this type of graph. This is graphical representation of the magnetic field of a solenoid. Okay. Now next topic is toroid. Next we will discuss about a toroid. Okay, so I told you that you take a ring and just wind a coil like this, and it becomes a toroid. Okay, so now for this toroid, I will again make a. This is nothing but a solenoid which is wounded on a circular ring. A solenoid with a round shape. Okay, that is toroid. So now let us obtain the magnetic field. What will be the magnetic field at different points due to the toroid? So let us suppose that we have a toroid. Here we have the dots, means the current is coming out, and these are the points where the current is moving in process. Okay, so the current is coming this way, is coming going, and then coming going, then coming, then like this, it is moving like this. Okay, so this is our toroid. Now we will just draw the boundaries. Okay, so this is the boundary. Now let us suppose that first of all, we will consider this region open space enclosed by toroid. Okay, you have three regions: first, second, and third. One region is inside the open space inside the toroid. Then other region is the region enclosed by the toroid. Okay. Then third region is the region exterior to the toroid, open space outside the toroid. Okay, means it is like this. If you have a circular ring, it is this way. Like, suppose first region is this, second region is this, and third is this one outside. Okay, so first of all, we will find out the magnetic field in this region. So for finding the magnetic field, we will make a loop because we want to apply the Ampere's circuital law. So we will draw an imaginary loop. Suppose a loop we have. Okay, we want to find out, suppose P point, at P point we want to find out the magnetic field. So I will draw an imaginary loop passing through P, and let us suppose that R is the distance of P from the center of the toroid. Here, the radius of the circular loop is R. Okay. So now, inside this region, how much is the current? How much current is threading through the region? First part. Yes, how much current is crossing the loop here? No current is crossing the loop. So here I is equal to 0, and therefore B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu naught n, suppose mu naught into whatever mu naught n 0, right? So we get equals to, or simply you can write like this, mu naught, what we have in Ampere's circuital law is B vector dot dl vector is equal to mu naught times the total current. I'm not writing here that mu naught Ni or whatever expression we get. So mu naught into total current. Now this total current is 0, and therefore B is equal to 0. Simply you can understand that if magnetic field is produced by a current, the source of magnetic field is electric current. If electric current is 0, then definitely the magnetic field will be 0. So in this region no current is threading through the region, and therefore the magnetic field is 0. So in the open space of the toroid, this region, there is no magnetic field. Okay. Alright, now next is for the points enclosed by the toroid. Now suppose if I take this point P, now suppose I consider this point P here. Okay, so let us suppose that R is the distance of the point P from the center of this toroid. So I will draw an imaginary loop here. Okay, I will draw the imaginary loop. Now, how much is the current? What is the what will be the length of this loop? The total length of the loop will be this length will be 2 pi r. Let us suppose that r is the radius of the loop. Then total length of the pool is of the loop is 2 pi r. Okay, we are finding for the second region, right? Okay, so what will be this value? B vector dot dl vector. This will be, what is the direction of magnetic field? Here it is, because the magnetic field inside the solenoid was straight line. If you turn the solenoid, then the direction of magnetic field at any point can be obtained with the help of tangent. So at any point, that tangent represents the direction of the magnetic field, right? What is dl? Suppose this is your tangent, so this is B. What is dl? dl is also a part of this one, so it will be along the direction of B only. It simply means that we have already done this while when I obtained the expression for Ampere's circuital law, while we were doing the proof of that Ampere's circuital law. That time we discussed that for a closed loop, B vector and dl vector are always along the same direction. So here theta is 0 and cos 0 is 1, so the value is B dl, right? B being constant. Inside the solenoid, the magnetic field is uniform and constant, and this is nothing but a solenoid only, whose shape is changed to a circular ring. So B is constant, and integration of dl will be 2 pi r. So you get B into 2 pi r. This is the value of this. Okay. Now, how much? What that says? Ampere's circuital law is B vector dot dl vector integral over the closed loop is mu naught times the total current threading through the loop. Now, how much current is threading? This is only this part, this current. Okay, the current is threading, is crossing the loop. This part is not crossing the loop, right? Only this part is crossing the loop. These points, they are the current coming out from these points is only crossing the loop. How much is that current? How you will find out the total current? Suppose N is the number of turns per unit length, and if I multiply this with total length of the loop, that is 2 pi r, then this will be the total number of turns. And if suppose at one point the current is I, so the total current is N into 2 pi r I. Okay, mu naught N 2 pi r I is that should be the expression for this value for the line integral of magnetic field according to Ampere's circuital law. Now this is equal to this, so you can write V into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught n 2 pi r I. Cancelled, and you get V is equal to mu naught n I, which is the expression for solenoid. Okay, so that's why I said that a toroid is nothing but a solenoid which is whose shape is changed into the form of a circle, is changed like this. Only a simple solenoid is there and you change the shape only. So the magnetic field inside at all inside points enclosed by the toroid, the magnetic field is this much, B equals to mu naught n I. Okay, again you can see that there is no L here, there is no point of R here, there is no quantity like R. So it means that the magnetic field, simply you can see that mu naught constant, number of turns per unit length constant, I is also constant. So it means the magnetic field inside the toroid will be of constant, of uniform nature, right, and will be equal at all the points inside the toroid. Okay, now we move on to the third part, the last one, last region outside the toroid. In this third region, now suppose I take a point Q with a radius, suppose r dash. Then I want to find out that how much is magnetic field at Q. So for that I will draw a loop through Q in such a way that the radius of the loop is r dash. Now you look at the loop, right? Whatever current is coming out, the same amount of current is going in. So how much is the total current which is crossing the loop? Whatever current is coming out, the same amount of current is going in also. So you will say that on and means the net current crossing the loop is 0. Okay, the current coming out here, the same amount of current is leaving the loop. So if suppose this is my plus I, then this should be minus I. So what is the sum? It should be 0. So again, since I is equal to 0, the total current threading through the loop is 0. So B is equal to 0. Okay, so it means that no magnetic field, no magnetic field. How much magnetic field? Here it is uniform and it is equal to mu naught n I. Okay, this is the magnetic field due to a toroid. Suppose we take a core like this, and suppose instead of making only a simple solenoid, we wound the turns on this core. Okay, means now the medium inside the solenoid, enclosed by the solenoid, is some other material whose permeability is mu r. The relative permeability is mu r. Then simply the formula will become B equals to mu naught mu r n I. Okay, simply means this is for solving the numericals. You simply multiply the expression with mu r. That's all, right? Okay, anybody wants to ask something here? This was about the application of Ampere's circuital law.